Thank you so much. COP28, we are happy that Gambia is here again participating. And from the pre-COP that we had in Abu Dhabi last month, the signs we are so clear that we are expecting to register important and significant historic milestones. Specific to it is the loss and damage funds. Now I think agreement is put in the shapes, and we are all agreeing that it is important that we have a loss and damage. But notwithstanding the loss and damage fundings, the actual financing for all climate change needs to take space, because we understand that we don't only have to respond to what's happening today, but we need to build our resilience for tomorrow. Therefore, adaptation fund is also very important. Mitigation and adaptation is important. And then, honestly, I want to say from now that I'm saying, only the pledges that are coming, even though we say don't only pledge, but we need the actions to come. But I'm hopeful that after being embarrassed that pledges are not being fulfilled, those that are making the pledges now would not want to be in that line, and also they will not want to set precedents, but they will make sure that they fulfill their pledges. We want actions to come our way. So far, so good. The numbers have increased drastically, and we are happy to see it, but we want action to follow immediately. Maybe from the lessons learned, in case it didn't happen this time around, we'll have to ask people to come with checks. Or even maybe if you need a cast, you come with the cast as well. But on a more serious note, we are hopeful that the finance will definitely be implemented, because finance is the bedrock of having action when it comes to climate mitigations. For the Gambia, as the national adaptation report came, indicating that under finance is just also underprepared. But again, we understand if you don't have the right financing, you will not be able to execute. But it's also, if you look at the global stock take, it's saying that we need to be ambitious. That's the NDC. The national determined contribution needs to be ambitious enough to be in line with the Paris Agreement and also the temperature reduction targets. But the Gambia's NDC has taken the lead on that. Our second NDC was ambitious enough and in line with the Paris Agreement temperature reduction. So therefore, maybe we need to enhance on our third NDC that is coming. And sure, we will do that. But at the country level, aside the NDC, we've also submitted our posted long-term strategy to see how best we're going to move in terms of access to finance and also implementing our projects related to mitigating the climate change. And this is costed to 4 billion US dollar. It's not a small money, but it's not also big money, because we understand that climate finance is very expensive, but little is coming on the way of the least developed countries. And this we need to push very hard. They are the least emitters and the most affected, but also the least given attention when it comes to financing. The entire 84 billion that was forecasted to reach the developed countries, 71% of that is all grants. It's all loans. And loans are not helping. You're just increasing our poverty. Therefore, we need this money to come in grant formulas, or at least let also have the private sector to play, but also let it be in more of it to be in a grant form. But on that side also, we want to make sure we are updating most of our policies and regulations, and also our national bills on climate change. Like the CITES bill is already in cabinet. It's already with the Justice Ministry to review. So we also have in the biodiversity bill, which is also under review. But recently, our next plan for 2024 is to work on a climate change policy, where we will be able to have an integrated outlook as to how we're going to shape the entire government structure when it comes to climate actions. The private sector, the individuals, the communities, the religious leaders, all sets to play their parts at a national level, so they will be able to achieve our plans according to our NDCs. Yes, what we are working on is to have a national framework for the carbon trading, because that's the new line when it comes to another option for accessing climate fundings. Yes, we need people to support our climate financing, but again, we need to also think of plan B. And hence, we have an opportunity to trade on the carbon emissions, which is our blue carbon. Gambia is endowed with a very rich mangrove species. And this is another avenue where we can trade on carbon trading. We are opening our doors. We're working on the framework. By next month, it should be ready. Before the end of this year, it should be ready. And we want to engage all partners, including the government of the UAE, to make sure that we partner on trading the carbon emissions, because it is a way that we will be able to engage and also build resilience. You have emitted, pay those so that you can be able to knock down on your emissions, and that is very key. So we are working on a national framework so that we'll be able to have a contract that is mutually balancing in interests. I use this opportunity to thank the government of the UAE, the President and His Highness, for giving us a pavilion. Gambia has never given itself a pavilion for COP, but for the first time in the history of our participation at the COP, we have a pavilion by the generosity of the government of the UAE. I use this opportunity on behalf of my country and my president to say a big thank you to the government of UAE, and we are open to our partnership to keep it much stronger in the part of fighting climate change.